So what's the biggest difference between a NanoLeaf Smart Ivy light bulb and the Phillips Hue light bulb? Apart from the looks, there is only one massive difference, and it's really the experience that the Phillips Hue has over the NanoLeaf Smart Ivy bulbs. I do have to stress that I'm comparing the NanoLeaf Smart Ivies and not the NanoLeaf Aurora. There's a different comparison video for that. Now, when I boil all the features down, you're basically paying more money for NanoLeaf's fancier looking bulbs and losing out on all the extra functionality that the Phillips Hue line of bulbs has to offer. I'll elaborate on that in a minute. Now, for this comparison, I've given the Smart Ivy a score of 3.2 A's out of 5 and the equivalent set of Phillips Hue bulbs a score of 4.1 A's out of 5. There are two areas where the Hue is better, but they only deal with accessing the smart LED bulbs, so it might not be applicable to everybody, which is why I'm doing these comparison videos. If you need more info on smart products, check out my channel. I've got product reviews, comparison reviews, as well as tips and tricks videos on my channel, so do check that out. As Smart Home Reviews, Monty and I, if you can see it behind the box, Monty and I base all the reviews that we do on actual usage, and we do this just to ensure that you get the most out of your home. So that requires us to be moving light bulbs around and buying light stands for no apparent reason other than to use them in these videos so that we can turn them off remotely right in front of you in the video. The next few minutes, I'm going to talk about the design of the bulbs, the functionality of the bulb and app, and end off with any compatibility issues that I came across. When it comes to physical design, the Philips Hue line of bulbs look like actual light bulbs, whereas the NanoLeaf Smart Ivy bulbs look incredibly unique. They look so cool. They look, I'll say it, badass. Now, the first thing that kind of popped into my mind when I was looking at the NanoLeaf Smart Ivy bulbs was that they look like the dark Sith Lords from Star Wars. They're just dark and badass and different looking, whereas in these Phillips Hue bulbs are just kind of the beige, cloth-wearing, robe-wearing Jedi ninnies. Like, cool looking, light bulb, cool looking. So both of these bulbs are dimmable, so I can dim the NanoLeaf Smart Ivy. I can also dim the Phillips Hue. Now the NanoLeaf Smart Ivy, it's set to a color of 3000K, so it's a cooler light, whereas in the Philips Hue, depending on the one that you get the equivalent one, it's going to be set to 4000K. Now, on a price by price difference, I'm just comparing the starter kits. You get a lot more out of your Philips Hue ones than you would with the Smart Ivy ones, because the Philips Hue ones, I believe they are the white ambience, and you can control the color of white, whereas for the Smart NanoLeaf, the Smart Ivy light bulbs, you can't. You can just dim them. So it's, again, just from a price perspective, for the exact same type of light bulb, the Philips Hue one is much better. Now, when it comes to brightness, the 800 lumen Smart Ivy light bulbs at 3000K color are brighter by a couple hundred lumens when compared to the Philips Hue bulbs at the similar color setting. The Hue bulbs are brightest at 4000K at 800 lumens, so they're both just as bright, just at different colors. If I had to choose between these products based on the color, I would use the Smart Ivy bulbs in my working area and the Hue bulbs in my living room, bedroom areas. Now, setting up anything from Philips has been incredibly easy, whereas in the Smart Ivy bridge, several tries. It was very frustrating. It reached a point where I was actually going to pass on reviewing the product because I couldn't get it to connect to my home network. It was very frustrating. But I will say that this wasn't the case for the NanoLeaf Aurora. Before we move on to functionality, the last thing I will point out is that the Smart Ivy bulb will emit light in a pattern. The LEDs aren't covered with anything that diffuses the light, so you're going to get some bright spots depending on where you put these smart light bulbs. For example, you can definitely see the bright spots on my working table when I use the Smart Ivy bulb in this lamp. Now, when it comes to overall functionality, the Philips Hue line of bulb blows the NanoLeaf out of the water. In my opinion, the biggest reason for this discrepancy is probably the fact that Philips has been at this smart light bulb game for several years now, whereas NanoLeaf is still relatively new to it. An example of Philips Hue's maturity is the integration of the Hue bulbs into third-party apps like Sleep Cycle, which offers sleep tracking and also wakes you up using the Philips Hue bulb or connected bulb. Now, at the beginning of the video, I said the biggest difference was the access that it offers. With the NanoLeaf Smart Ivy bulbs, by itself, you can't, if you're outside of your home, you can't control it. Whereas, and you can sign it, if you log into and create an account with Philips Hue's website, you can control all these light bulbs remotely without the use of Amazon Echo, without the use of a Apple Home setup. And so that's really, oh, and there is a Apple Watch app for the Philips Hue stuff. So accessing your bulbs, accessing your Philips Hue bulbs is way easier than it is accessing your NanoLeaf Smart Ivy bulbs. So to me, that is the biggest difference in terms of functionality for these two products. Now, if that doesn't matter to you, then other than the price difference, that's about it. The last thing about functionality is that I'll talk about the apps. And the Nanoleaf app itself focuses heavily on the Aurora, where there's almost no UI dedicated to the Smart Ivy bulbs. It's almost like they're an afterthought, whereas in the Phillips Hue app, well, it focuses on every single bulb that they have, and the Phillips Hue app is just a little easier to use in my opinion. When it comes to overall compatibility, both sets of lights work with IFTTT, Apple Home, Alexa, Wink SmartThings, and Google Home. There isn't a service that I've come across that doesn't work with these lights, which is nice. I personally would prefer both these light bulb setups over other light systems like Osram, which it only works with Amazon Alexa, or it doesn't work with HomeKit. I know it works with Alexa, but definitely not Apple stuff. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments section below. If this is the first time you're watching one of my videos, I do encourage you to click subscribe, as I'll be producing a ton of content over the next few months, specifically for smart home accessories, tips and tricks, reviews, as well as comparisons like this video. Thanks for watching. Monty thanks you as well.